Hello everyone, it's Rich Michael Jones. Time for the Bible read for July 7th, First Chronicles. Asher, father of Tekoa, had two wives named Helah and Nara. Nara gave birth to Huzun, Hefer, Timni, and Haashtari. Helah gave birth to Zereth, Izhar, Ethnan, and Koz, who became the ancestors of Anub, Jobab, and all the families of Ariel, son of Haram. There was a man named Jabez who was more honorable than any of his brothers. His mother named him Jabez because his birth had been so painful. He was one who prayed to the God of Israel, "Oh, that you would bless me and expand my territory. Please be with me in all that I do and keep me from all trouble and pain." And God granted his request. Caleb, brother of Shahu, was father of Mahir. Mahir was the father of Eshton. Eshton was the father of Bethrapha, Pasi, and Tanina. Tanina was the father of Irnanash. These were the descendants of Rekah. The sons of Kenaz were Othniel the Sarai. Othniel's sons were Hathith and Mekonothai. Meonothai was the father of Ophrah. Sarai was the father of Joab and founder of the Valley of the Craftsmen, so called because that they were craftsmen. The sons of Caleb, sons of Jephunneh, were Eru, Elah, Nam, and the son of Elah was Kenaz. The sons of Jehalelel were Zippah, and Ziphah's Terah and Asiriel. The sons of Eraz were Jether, Mered, Epher, and Jalon. One of Mered's wives became the mother of Miriam, Shammai, and Ishbah, the father of Eshtoma. He married a woman from Judah who became the mother of Jared, the father of Gedor, Heber, the father of Soko, and Jethkul, the father of Jonah. Mered also married Bethia, a daughter of Pharaoh, and she bore him children. Hodai's wife was the sister of Naham. One of her sons was the father of Keilah and Garmai, and another was the father of Eshtema, the Makaharites. The sons of Sheman were Ammon, Rena, Benana, and Tilon. The descendants of Ishi were Zoheth and Ben Zoheth. Shelah was one of Judah's sons. The descendants of Shelah were the father of Lakah, Lada, the father of Marasha, the families of linen workers at Betha Asheba, Jocham, the men of Kezeba, and Joash and Saraph, who ruled over Moab, and Jeshubi Letham. These names all came from the ancient records. They were the pottery makers who lived in Netaim and Jedrah. They lived there and worked for the king. The sons of Simeon were Jemuel, Jamin, Jarib, Johar, and Shaul. The descendants of Shaul were Shalom, Mibsam, and Mishma. The descendants of Mishma were Hamuel, Zachar, and Shemi. Shemi had 16 sons and 6 daughters, but none of his brothers had large families, so Simeon's tribe never grew as large as the tribe of Judah. They lived in Beersheba. Malada, Hazar, Shul, Bilhah, Ezem, Tolad, Bethuel, Hormah, Ziklag, Beth Markaboth, Hazar, Susam, Beth Biri, and Sharim. These towns were under their control until the times of King David. Their descendants also lived in Edom, Ain, Rimmon, Token, Ashan, 5 towns, and their surrounding villages as far away as Baalath. This was their territory, and these were listed in their genetical records. Other descendants of Simeon included Meshabab, Jemlech, Joshua, son of Amzai, Joel, Jul, son of Joshbai, son of Sarai, son of Aziel, Elonai, Jecobah, Jeshoe, Ashai, Adil, Jezmeel, Benai, and Ziza, son of Shiphi, son of Elon, son of Jedi, son of Shimri, son of Shimei. These were the names of some of the leaders of Simeon's wealthy clans. Their families grew, and they traveled to the regions of Gerar in the east part of the valley, seeking pasture land for their flocks. They found lush pastures there, and the land was quiet and peaceful. Some of Ham's descendants had been living in the region, but during the reign of King Hezekiah of Judah, these leaders of Simeon invaded the region and completely destroyed the homes of the descendants of Ham and the Munites. No trace of them remains today. They killed everyone who lived there and took the land for themselves because they wanted its good pasture land for their flocks. 500 of these invaders from the tribes of Simeon went to Mount Seir, led by Peltai, Neri, Rephi, and Uziel, all sons of Ishi. They destroyed the few Amalekites who had survived, and they have lived there ever since. The oldest son of Israel was Reuben, but since he dishonored his father by sleeping with one of his father's concubines, his birthright was given to the sons of his brother Joseph. For this reason, Reuben is not listed in the genealogical record as the firstborn son. The descendants of Judah became the most powerful tribe and provided a ruler for the nations, but the birthright belonged to Joseph. The son of Reuben, the oldest son of Israel, were Hanok, Paul, Hezron, and Carmi. The descendants of Joel were Shammai, Gog, Shimi, Micah, Rai, Baal, and Berah. Berah was the leader of the Reubenites when they were taken into captivity by King Tiglath-Pileser of Assyria. Berah's relatives are listed in their genealogical orders by their clans. Jeiel, Zachari, and Bela, son of Azah, son of Shemiah, son of Joel. The Reubenites lived in the area that stretches from the Orur to the Nebo and the Baal Meon, and since they had no many livestock in the land of Gilead, they spread eastward toward the edge of the desert and stretched to the Euphrates River. During the reign of Saul, the Reubenites defeated the Hagarites in battle. Then they moved into the Hagarite settlements and along the eastern edge of the Gilead. Next to the Reubenites, the descendants of Gad lived in the land of Bashan as far east as Salakah. Joel was the leader in the land of Bashan, and Sapham as second in command, followed by the Janai and the Shaphat. Their relatives, the leaders of 7 other clans, were Michael, Meshulam, Sheba, Jeral, Jachin, Zia, and Eber. These were all descendants of Abel, son of Huri, son of Dro, son of Gilead, son of Michael, son of Jeshai, son of Joda, son of Buz. I, son of Abdil, son of Guni, was the leader of their clans. The Gadites lived in the land of Gilead and Bashan and its villages, and throughout all the pasture lands of Sharon. All of these were listed in the genealogical records during the days of King Jotham and Judah, the king Jeroboam of Israel. Second part of the read is in Acts 25. Thank God for Jesus. 3 days after Festus arrived in Caesarea to take over his nephew's responsibilities, he left for Jerusalem, where the leading priests and other Jewish leaders met with him and made their accusations against Paul. They asked Festus as favor to transfer Paul to Jerusalem, planning to ambush and kill him on the way. But Festus replied that Paul was a Caesar and he himself would be returning there soon. So he said, "Those of you in authority can return with me. If Paul has done anything wrong, you can make your accusations." About 8 or 10 days later, Festus returned to Caesarea, and on the following day he took his seat in the court and ordered that Paul be brought in. When Paul arrived, the Jewish leaders from the Jerusalem gathered around and made many serious accusations they couldn't prove. Paul denied the charges. "I am not guilty of any crime against the Jewish laws of the temple or of the Roman government," he said. Then Festus, wanting to please the Jews, asked him, "Are you willing to go to Jerusalem and stand trial before me there?" But Paul replied, "No, this is the official room court, so I ought to be tried here, right here. You know very well I am not guilty of harming the Jews. If I have done something worthy of death, I don't refuse to die, but I am innocent. No one has the right to turn me over to those men to kill me. I appeal to Caesar." Festus conferred with the advisors and then replied, "Very well, you have appealed to Caesar, and to Caesar you will go." A few days later, King Agrippa arrived with his sister Bernice to pay their respects to Festus. During this stay, the several days, Festus discussed Paul's case with the king. "There is a prisoner here," he told him, "whose case was left for me by Felix. When I was in Jerusalem, the leading priests and Jewish elders pressed charges against him and asked me to condemn him. I pointed out to them that Roman law does not convict people without a trial, and they must be given an opportunity to confront their accusers and defend themselves. When his accusers came here, the trial, I didn't delay. I called the case, and the very next day and ordered Paul brought in. But the accusations made against him weren't any of the crimes I expected. Instead, it was something about their religion and a dead man named Jesus who Paul insists is alive. I was at a loss to know how to investigate these things, so I asked him whether he would be willing to stand trial on these charges in Jerusalem. But Paul appealed to have his case decided by the emperor, so I ordered that he be held in custody until I could arrange to send him to Caesar." "I'd like to hear the man myself," Agrippa said, and Festus replied, "You will, tomorrow." So the next day Agrippa and Bernice arrived at the auditorium with great pomp, accompanied by military officers and prominent men of the city. Festus ordered that Paul be brought in. Then Festus said, "King Agrippa and all who are here, this is the man whose death is demanded by the Jews, both here and in Jerusalem. But in my opinion, he has done nothing deserving death. However, since he appealed his case to the emperor, I have decided to send him to Rome. But What shall I write for the emperor? For there is no clear charge against him, so I brought him before all of you, and especially you, King Agrippa, so that after we examine him I might have something to write, for it makes no sense to send a prisoner to the emperor without specifically having the charges against him. Psalms 5. Lord, hear me as I pray. Pay attention to my groaning. Listen to my cry and help my King, my God. For I pray to no but you. Listen to my voice in the morning. Lord, each morning I bring my request to you and wait expectantly. O God, you take no pleasure in wickedness. You take tolerate the sin of the wicked. Therefore the proud may not stand in your presence, for you hate all who do evil. You will destroy those who tell lies. Lord, detest murderers and deceivers. Because of your unfailing love, I can enter your house. I will worship at your temple with deepest awe. Lead me in the right path, O Lord. My enemies will conquer me. Make your way plain for me to follow. My enemies cannot speak a truthful word. Their deepest desire to destroy others. Their talk is foul like the stench of an open grave, and their tongues are filled with flattery. O God, declare them guilty and let them be caught in their own trap. Drive them away because of their many sins, for they have rebelled against you. But let all who take refuge rejoice them. Let them sing joyful praises forever. Spread your protection over them, that all who your name may be filled with joy. For you bless the godly, O Lord. You surround them with your shield of love. In Proverbs 18, an offended friend is harder to whack than a fortified city. Arguments separate friends like a locked with bars. July